Oh, wait. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the Do Weekly Podcast. My name is Mick Mulvaney.
You are not Mick Mulvaney.
Alex Vasquez.
And I'm Natalie MacLeese.
The Do Weekly Podcast is a weekly challenge podcast for small business owners.
By small business owners.
You got that right.
How many episodes do you think we have to do before you can do it?
Do what?
The intro.
I just did the intro 8 times, but I nailed it.
Yeah, you definitely nailed it.
I detect sarcasm from you. And you know what? This is something that's very personal to me because yesterday I tried very hard to not be sarcastic all day long.
You set your own personal bonus challenge.
I did. Do you want to know how hard it is for me to not be sarcastic?
I can only imagine since
It
90% of what you say is sarcastic.
Most people are 70% water. I am 90% sarcasm, and the other percentage is water and tacos.
Water, tacos, and sarcasm. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty accurate.
Sounds delicious, doesn't it?
I don't know what sarcasm tastes like.
So anyways, Nat, how the heck are you? What's going on?
I'm doing well. Things are going good.
Don't lie to me.
Got the challenge done.
Oh, wait. Are we already talking about the challenge?
We don't have to.
Well, I mean, it's part of the show.
Yeah, we should probably get to it eventually.
Okay, we did a challenge last week.
We did, and it was a fun one.
You know, I find it terrifying and slightly annoying.
So you're still not won over.
I am. The end result, I'm won over because now I have something to look forward to.
Well, that's good. We should probably say what the challenge was.
Oh, yeah, yes. To get arrested. No, wait, what was it?
To schedule a real vacation. By real, we mean no work, no laptop, no checking emails, no taking conference calls, none of that for at least 3 days. To schedule it. Sorry, not to actually take it.
So I think I mentioned this last time. The last time I took a vacation without bringing my laptop was before I owned a laptop.
Yeah, which that just makes me think you're not having that much fun on vacation.
You're totally right because, I'm dinking around doing work. That sucks. Even when I go home for the holidays, which I do a couple times every year, I'm doing work. Work. I'm doing work because I can.
Yeah, and have you noticed that when you're on vacation or if it's the weekend and you do some work, you work for an hour and you feel like you worked for 4 hours?
Yeah, I do kind of notice this weird stretching of time, this distortion of time.
Yeah, it's not as much fun.
It's very Kirkian in that way.
On one hand, being able to take your work with you and work wherever you go is an advantage of what you and I do. In particular, like a digital online business.
Yeah.
You could do it from anywhere. But then also having downtime where you have a nice break from that is really important. You have to get a good balance in there.
I think you're full of it. Who's going to go first? Who's going to talk about what they did?
I can talk about my trip and then my thwarted plans.
Okay. Well, let's hear about it.
I have a trip planned to go back to Pennsylvania at the beginning of June.
Oh, nice.
Because my nephew is graduating from high school, which is hard to believe since I was in the room when he was born.
Yeah, you're old.
Did you know that they graduate babies from high school?
They do, and they also graduate them from like business school and universities too, and then they grow up to become presidents.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Did you just make our podcast political?
I'm sorry, folks. I'm stopping that right now. Anyway, continuing.
Yeah, so I won't take my laptop. I'm going for about 5 days, and I'll have some quality time with my nephew before he ships off to join the military.
Okay.
And some quality time visiting my family without any interruptions of work.
Well, and thank your nephew for his future service for me.
I will.
And what sort of coordination are you going to do ahead of time to make sure that it's seamless?
I will make sure that all of my clients know that I have the trip coming up. And it is, like a little over a month away at this point when this podcast comes out. So I'll make sure they all have a heads up that that's coming up. It is kind of a case where it's kind of just an extended weekend. I'll be gone Thursday to Monday.
Yeah.
As it gets a little closer, I think I'll have a better gauge, but because of it being just Thursday to Monday, I think that it won't be that big a deal. Like, it's not as big a deal as when I was completely incommunicado for 2 weeks.
Sure.
It's just kind of a long weekend. So I might not have to do a lot of juggling and find coverage and everything. I might just put an autoresponder on my email and a voicemail box message just reminding people I'm out of town and giving them some instructions on how to get a hold of me if it's an emergency, along with a reminder to call your hosting company if your site is down, because that's all I'm going to do anyway.
Right. Well, and I think that's really good. I too, well, wait, you're not done. So you've got this trip to Pennsylvania planned.
Yeah.
And what else?
Well, I was hoping to actually plan another nice 2-week-long trip to a fun and exotic vacation. But then, as we talked about, I had some recent health issues. I was in the hospital, and the bills are starting to come in from that. And I'm realizing that financial-wise, that's probably just not in the cards this year.
Smart and responsible.
I got a surgery coming up. Yeah. So.
You're really playing up the sympathy card for all the surgery stuff. And by the way, those cookies were delicious. I have to let you know.
Thank you.
And just
I put the recipe on the show notes for last week's episode.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Everyone loved the cookies. I took the cookies into cross campus and I started handing them out to people. Everyone was like, wow, these cookies are great. Did you make them? And you know what I told them? I said,
say yes.
Maybe.
You took credit for my cookie making?
Well, yeah, but Natalie, when one person asked me and I could see from the look on their face that they really wanted the answer to be true, that I had made them. Who am I to disappoint them? And I said, yeah, I totally made them. Well, what's in there? And I just remember chocolate, sea salt. And they're like, oh, the sea salt. That's a really nice touch. And I said, yeah, but it's special sea salt. And they asked me, what's so special about it? And I said, well, it comes from Paris. And they're like, Paris, France? I'm like, no, Lake Paris. Obviously, that was not on my no sarcasm day, but
yeah,
whatever.
Obviously that wasn't yesterday.
Definitely not yesterday. Okay, well, Nat, I'm sorry to hear about the trip not going through, but you know what? Maybe this is like bonus incentive to book that more exotic trip, that more lengthy trip, because you know that maybe that's something that I can do too.
Yeah.
And we can call back to it.
Yeah, definitely. See how things go.
Yeah.
Did you do the challenge? You got a vacation booked?
I did. I booked a trip in June. I'm just taking a long weekend up to Ojai, California, which, for those who don't know, it's a sleepy little town about 80 miles north of Los Angeles. And
it's lovely.
Yeah. The wonderful film with Emma Stone. I think it's A+ was filmed there, which is actually a pretty badass movie.
Okay.
You should totally watch it. But yeah, it's a nice town, lots of stuff going on there. And I booked a stay at a hotel that has like a masseuse on staff and everything. And so I'm going to kind of get myself pampered a little bit, get myself worked on and whatnot.
All right.
Why did I have to take a minute to figure out a non-inappropriate way to say that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's in the middle of June. And the thing that I like about the place that I booked is it's definitely for adults. They have some copy on their website that said, if you have kids, don't even think about bringing them here. You can take them to Motel 6.
I'm pretty sure that's not what it said.
Not verbatim, but close.
So it's an adults-only resort type place.
Yeah.
Resort hotel.
Yeah, and for sub-adults, children aged 15 or more.
All right.
Which, whatever, I can deal with that.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So they're probably going to get high anyway.
How long are you staying?
3 days.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 nights, actually. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, driving home on Monday.
Yours is also like a long weekend.
Yeah, it's totally a long weekend. I haven't really done that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of planning to take myself, and it should be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. It's a much needed trip.
Because it's a long weekend, are you making any special plans business-wise of how to handle coverage and things like that?
So I do have a couple people that help out with support-related things, and they can handle the sort of stuff that would come up. They're totally able to handle. And like you, I'm going to let my clients know. And since I have these email lists set up for my different groups of clients, I'm just going to hit that list. I'm going to create like a campaign that just kind of pings them like maybe a month out, and then maybe like the week of, just as a reminder of that I'm going to be out of town, but they could still get support. And if they need to get a hold of me, good luck.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I got going.
All right. Well, good job.
So go us.
Go us.
We nailed the
Do you want a high five?
Ow. Why'd you hit me so hard?
Because I mean it.
Ouch. Okay. We have a challenge this week that we've discussed. And what is that thing?
Our challenge this week is to declutter an area of your business.
Womp, womp, womp.
And that could mean physically, if you've got a messy stock room or a messy desk, Nathan, or we'll just call out specific listeners.
Yeah, I've seen some people with some messed up desks, Jay.
Cluttered bookshelves. So it could be something physical like that, but it could also be something a little more virtual.
Yes, totally. I like this challenge a lot because it's definitely not something that I've been doing, and it's something that I could do. Yeah. So decluttering your business, I know that we're saying like an area of the business, and this is intended to be simple. Obviously, you can take it as far as you want to go, but I think on the show, on the pod, are we allowed to say pod?
No, because we didn't work for Obama. We covered this last time.
I'm so sorry. But on the show, we always stress simplicity first. Keep it simple and do the thing.
Keep it doable.
Natalie, I feel like when I think about your workspace, how you work, I've always felt like you've done a pretty good job of being process-oriented and organizing yourself. And that's just one of the observations or assumptions that I make about you. Do you even need to do this challenge? Like, how do you think this will benefit you? And, be as specific as you want.
I give off that impression a lot, but the secret is that I'm a surface organized person. You look around my house, it looks all neat and clean, but don't open any closets or drawers.
Yeah, definitely don't open any pantries, because you'll find all sorts of mixtures of like regular food, cat food, or whatever, Yeah. You just never know.
Or laundry detergent.
In the pantry.
So yes, I absolutely need this challenge. I mean, I could probably name a dozen different areas of my business that I could declutter this week. I know I'm behind on categorizing my expenses for my accounting.
Okay. Yeah.
I know for sure one of your ideas was to go through all of your recurring subscriptions and clean up stuff. Definitely need to do that. I could probably save at least $100 a month, maybe more.
Actually, let's maybe not make a bet, but But here's what I'll do. I'll kind of incentivize this challenge for you.
Ooh.
If you have $250 or more worth of subscriptions
that I cancel,
that you
or
cancel,
just total,
or no, that you end up canceling, I will buy you dinner.
Ooh, okay.
At a place of your choosing.
Ooh. We live in Los Angeles. There's some very fancy restaurants here.
Well, it's a good thing I'm very fancy. Obviously. So there you go. If you can find like $250 or more worth of subscription billing, and I'm going to count that between personal and business.
Okay.
I know that this is specific to business. All subscriptions. Because I'm willing to bet that there's at least that much lingering that you could be saving yourself.
That would be very helpful with those medical bills I talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what about you, Alex? Are there certain things that you're thinking of tackling in particular?
The reason why the subscription thing came up was there's another service that I wanted to add to my business. But I said, well, you know what? I really need to figure out what I'm paying for, and I need to figure out what I'm doing. So I did that part of it. So I did that whole auditing my business expenses, like my recurring billings and stuff. And in that process, I found a $294 payment by itself. This was not a monthly thing, but it was an annually recurring thing.
Yes.
And I reached out. It was for this product called Sprout Invoice, which I love. And I reached out and said, hey, I think I shouldn't be paying for this. And he was like, yeah, it doesn't look like you need it. And to be fair, I signed up for it and he refunded that payment.
Oh, nice.
Dan at Sprout Invoice was awesome. So thank you.
He's a very nice guy.
He's a very nice guy. So yeah, that was something that I did that I was really happy with. But
I mean, that's all like $20 a month.
Yeah. No, that's
it would come out too.
Yeah, it totally will. And so I can kind of share some more about that, maybe next week. But
yeah.
As far as that goes, I think that there are things that I can do to declutter my life, like cleaning up my desk.
Yeah.
My desk is a war zone, and it's absolutely ridiculous. There's a couple things that go along with this. So I bought a stand-up desk, which is the thing that now has all the crap on it. But I bought it to replace my old office furniture, my old office desk and chair. Those things are sitting in my garage, and I need to sell them too. So I just need to get rid of junk that's just sitting around that's not doing me any good, and I just need to get it out the door. Whether or not someone just picks it up for free or I charge $25 for it, I just need to do it.
Yep, you need to get rid of it.
So I need to get rid of some office furniture. I need to clean up my workspace and commit to being a little more and commit to being organized. So I would say there's 3 things I've got going on there for the challenge that I would like to accomplish.
All right. Well, that all sounds doable in a week.
So we know that it's important to declutter. It's a good practice to get out of your own way. At least for me, that's how I look at it. Having a cluttered desk, having things that take space is not good. They don't help me. They don't help me with the goal. So why do I have these things? Why am I spending money on these tools and services that I do not need? It's not helping. It's hampering. It's costing me money. And the first rule of business is don't lose money. And I think the second rule is see rule number 1.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that.
Having physical clutter sitting around you, I find it stressful and distracting. I find it harder to focus. And then having just all these things, every once in a while I think, oh my gosh, I'm still paying for that. I'm not even using it anymore.
Yeah.
Just having those kind of surprises that, I've been paying 6 months or 12 months or maybe more for something that was a good idea when I signed up for it. And then I'm just not using it. And it's all, it's money or it's time or it's your attention and energy. And it's all things that you really can't afford to lose when you're running a small business.
We're going to go over some ideas on how to, just suggestions.
Things you might tackle.
Things you might tackle. But I do want to start with the whole auditing your paid subscription services and all that stuff. I think a good place to start is if you have a PayPal account and you have subscriptions that you've paid for through it, it's a good idea to go into your payment profiles to see what your active subscriptions are and then just start canceling stuff.
Yeah.
I think I canceled like 4 things out of that added up to about $120.
Oh, wow.
Overall.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start. And, obviously your accounting tools, just looking at your statements and things like that and just kind of auditing everything. Maybe whether it's over the course of 3 months, which I know sounds like a lot for like a weekly challenge. So maybe just do 1 month, but the tricky thing is those annual subscriptions that are only going to kick in once a year. But
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely start by doing just a couple months at a time.
Yeah. So, and I think it's important enough to do, maybe twice a year, if not annually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah. So what are some other things that's our listeners can do to...
So we already talked about your expense categorization for your accounting. So you're keeping that up for your taxes. Physically cleaning up some area of your workspace. Yep. I would just like to quickly share that I did this for my office. You see my office.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm lucky enough that I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and one of the extra bedroom is my office. And that had gotten to a point a couple years ago where it was a storage room and I would just throw everything in there. And it got to a point where there was just boxes everywhere and I had a path from the door over to my desk. And it was not pleasant to sit in there. And I dreaded having to go in and start work every day. I took the week between Christmas and New Year's, and as a gift to myself, just completely gutted the room, pulled absolutely everything out of it. Reorganized, sold some of the old furniture and bookshelves and things like that, and went and bought new ones that were a better fit.
Yeah.
Painted the whole room, got new lighting, everything, set it up. It's so beautiful now. It looks like a Pinterest office.
It really does, you guys. It definitely looks like it came right out of Pinterest, and I feel inspired to do my best work when I set foot into your office, but usually I just sit on the big bouncy ball and roll myself off of it.
Yeah. So now I really like being in that space now. I really enjoy it. It feels cozy. I feel good when I have a conference call with a client because I have something really gorgeous behind me. It just makes me feel really confident. It makes me feel really motivated to work. It makes a big difference when you clean up your space and make it nice.
And, I do want to emphasize that your office really is kind of a sanctuary. It's the type of place where you do want to sit down and there's a certain energy. There's something, whether it's just good feng shui or whatnot, I don't know. And I mean, maybe that's the best description that I have, but honestly, like you sit down and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And it's a great office, and I would love to have a similar type of setup. I don't think my setup's bad or anything, but obviously I have a bunch of junk and a pile of paperwork that I need to go through, and I just need to do the thing and clear it off. Because those times when I do clear it off, I feel like, hey, I feel it's a feeling for me. I feel like I can do more.
It's so much less stress and more focus and just good all around.
I'm sure that there's probably studies and data around this sort of thing, like working in non-messy spaces. And if we were good podcast hosts, we totally would have looked that up. You know what? I think we need an intern.
Oh, that's a good idea. We need a podcast intern.
We need a podcast intern to help us with research.
Maybe the podcasts can be in charge of that.
Oh, you know what? They just kind of sit around and puke all the time.
No, they don't.
I'm waiting for one of the podcasts to start yakking.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously there's the, cleaning out your office. And another thing, for brick and mortar shops that maintain a physical inventory is, maybe it's time to do an inventory of product and, try to figure out if there's anything that can be sent out, or, have the price reduced or, put to clearance or something like that to get that out the door too.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I've worked in many, many places where there were messy desks or just that back supply closet no one ever wanted to look in. Lots of things like that could be cleaned up.
One thing that helped me, or I feel has helped me, is using so this is a different tool, but, for like managing customer relationships, I used to just kind of write them down or note them in like a tool like Evernote or something. But I use a very simple CRM now. It's ActiveCampaign. They have a CRM component, but I just use that to tack notes onto client conversations, whether they're existing clients or leads. So if I talk to them on the phone, I add notes there, and their emails automatically get attached to the customer record. I feel like that was something that helped me to be a little more organized, just with respect to my client discussions and relationships.
What's a CRM? Can you explain that?
Customer Relationship Manager. It's really just a tool that a small business owner can use to keep track of activities with existing customers or potential customers.
Nice.
So, like if you have notes from conversations that you've taken, you can see at a glance like histories, emails that have been sent back and forth. But what's another thing?
Letting go of dead weight.
Like me?
Yeah, I totally need a new podcast co-host. No, but looking around, what can you let go of? Could be employees, or it could be, again, like you said, old stock, or just stuff you don't need around anymore.
Well, there's been folks that have worked with me, contractors or whatnot. People get busy, and I think it's obvious when someone is engaged and they're with you, helping you in your business efforts, trying to get you across the goal line, and you can tell. But sometimes that isn't the case. Maybe they're slow to respond. They start dropping the ball on a bunch of stuff more consistently. And, maybe that's a time to kind of cut that relationship off and maybe start looking for other help, someone else to kind of step in and revitalize that portion of the business or what have you. That's just a thought that I had.
The kind of relationships that have gone stale.
Oh, you put a really good one down here, like going on your phone and removing any apps or contacts that you don't need, clearing out photos to free up space, that sort of thing, I think is also pretty darn good.
This could be a good time to go back to that challenge we have from week 2 and inventory your time, see where you can clean up your schedule, declutter your daily tasks, and uncover some time you can use to do fulfilling things.
And on that note, there's a couple services that I think are worth a look at. There's one called Byron at hibyron.com. They're not sponsors. They're just a service that I use. And then there's like another service called X.AI or something like that. It's an AI powered virtual assistant. And it really, all it does is it helps you schedule phone calls with people, and it puts it on your calendar. It'll proactively reach out to people, schedule meetings for you. Nice. So you don't have to get wrapped up in that back and forth. And I use Hi Byron for that, and just for some other like administrative related stuff, like tallying up hours that have been worked by contractors for the last couple of weeks when I have to process payroll and stuff like that. Yeah. So if there are repetitive tasks or just time consuming tasks that are just eating your time that you can train someone else to do, then, maybe it's worth looking at bringing on an assistant to help you with that, or a virtual assistant.
Yes, declutter your to-do list by delegating.
Let's see. What else we got?
You could get a business line of credit to consolidate any credit card debt that you might have. I know a lot of small businesses bootstrap by using credit cards, but you can contact your bank if you're in the black and you have some decent credit for your business. You can contact your bank and get a line of credit, and the interest rate is much lower.
That could be a really good idea. I don't know what the right number of credit cards is for any single one business. I don't think there's a good answer there. But
yeah, I don't think there's a magic number.
Yeah, there's not a magic number there, but I think I've got two. And honestly, it probably just needs to be one. I'm just trying to think, is it one of those things that, I could use a business line of credit? And right now, the answer is no. But I think that is a good idea, because a lot of the people I speak to at the Small Business Development Center, a lot of folks have mentioned that they do have many lines of credit and several credit cards and debt kind of spread across all these different accounts. And that's tough to manage.
It is tough to manage. So yeah, consolidating that all down.
Yeah, and it's a good way to lose money quickly.
And that'll save you time every month, and time is money.
We talked about our social media accounts, like updating those.
Mm-hmm.
What we talked about was just updating, and this was what, episode 4?
I think it's 5.
5? You mean it's the one that we just did?
We just did 6. This is 7.
I can't keep up.
You can't count to 7?
Hey, that'll be enough out of you.
It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think with the social media accounts, another aspect to this is to do an audit of the people that you're following. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And maybe just start unfollowing a bunch of people that you don't follow, people who you don't pay attention to, accounts that don't matter, things that just contribute to black noise or whatever, or just that clutter things up, because I hated Twitter. Absolutely hated it. And I think with one of my accounts, I had like 2,000 followers, and I was following like 5,000 people or something.
Goodness.
From the time that I started using it. And I finally went back and I looked up some script online that I could run, and I ran it, and it unfollowed everyone.
All 5,000? All
5,000. So suddenly I was following 0 people, and the timeline just contained tweets from me, and it was like, this is all I ever wanted. I just wanted my...
You just want your own things.
I just want my own echo chamber. That's all I want. I just want to marvel at my own cleverness.
All right. Well, maybe not everyone wants that, but I bet that people are following accounts that maybe are no longer interesting to them or are no longer providing value that they could unfollow, move on from.
Yeah, and if you do that, I mean, I think the net effect is that you'll get a lot more. I mean, it's just like you said, Natalie, so I'm just kind of restating it. But, when you do unfollow these accounts, the net effect is that you enjoy using that social network even more. Not only do you enjoy it more, but I think you get more mileage from it.
Yeah, your timeline is more manageable. You can actually have a chance of keeping up with it. And it's all stuff that you like or are interested in.
Yeah.
And then we have similar, your email inbox, if you've got tons of subscriptions to email newsletters that, again, maybe were interesting when you signed up for them, but are no longer valuable or interesting. And I know, like, when we did our email marketing, we talked about how you can't just put people on your list without permission, but I know it happens to me all the time. Going
through your subscription folder and saying, yeah, I don't need any of these. And I feel like there was a really good tool for managing those. I think it was called Unroll Me or something.
Yes, Unroll Me. You're right.
Yeah, and I think it's free.
Yeah, it was when I used it.
Yeah, and I'm just looking it up, and it still appears to be free. They just kind of group all your subscription emails together, and so you get a nice little roll-up of it all. It's easier to manage. I'm not using this anymore, but I think maybe I should revisit it.
Yeah, it's probably worth a revisit. I did it. It unsubscribed me from, over 100 things. And then they email me every once in a while, and they'll say, your subscriptions are creeping up again. You're subscribed to 274 things.
Yeah.
And they help me, figure out what I want to keep. And then I think it also has a feature where you can take stuff that you do want to get and roll it up into like a digest, like your own personal newspaper that combines several different things into one email. Well,
yeah. And, to be clear, not every newsletter is garbage, right? So
I get lots that I really look forward to and enjoy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then moving paper files to digital. I feel like since I started my business, pretty much everything has been digital. But, what if you have credit card statements or bank statements that are still mailed to you? Well, now's a good time to check those settings and make sure that you're getting e-documents, electronic documents for things like that.
Yep.
What's another thing?
I think we just have one thing left on our list.
What?
Which is setting up reminders for recurring tasks.
Okay. Like what sort of recurring tasks would you do you see for yourself?
Every month, remember to go into my bank statement and categorize all the expenses.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. And then just stuff that I try to get done on a regular basis.
Like checking emails every day, like at least during the morning?
Only in the morning.
Only in the morning? Ay.
Only in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That could be another challenge.
Oh, yeah. Have mercy on that one. So, I think that's it. I think we're in pretty good shape.
We've got lots of ideas, and you just have to pick one. Just pick one area that you feel is maybe a little out of control, a little messy in your business, and get it cleaned up this week.
I mean, we'll give you bonus points if you do, 3 or more of these challenges, or if you get into a public fist fight.
Why are we having people get into physical altercations?
I'm not sure, but if it helps you declutter your business by removing yourself from the equation, then why not?
Maybe don't do that.
Okay, maybe don't do that. Don't get into a fist fight. And if you do, we're not responsible for that, are we?
No, we're definitely not responsible.
Okay, cool. Definitely not responsible. So, yeah, choose your opponents wisely.
Yeah.
We're gonna say peace out. Go away next week. Let's do it again.
Yeah, next week, come back, have your business area decluttered, and we'll tackle another challenge.
Whew, I can't believe it. We did a thing 7 times. 7 times. Do you know, what you can do with the number 7? Do you know what you can do with 7 things?
7 is a pretty magical number.
It is. Do you know why?
Because there were 7 dwarves?
Because, yeah.
7 chakras?
You know
7 sacraments?
Okay. You know what? Don't show off. But you should totally show off.
7 sisters?
Stop it. You know what? That's enough. All right, everyone. Look, you have your challenge. Should you choose to accept it, and you totally should, do the thing. Let us know how it goes. Leave a comment. But also, subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Where can they do? Where can they do that?
5-star review. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, any of those places.
Yeah, or wherever you download fine or just utterly shitty podcasts.
We're definitely in the fine category.
I think so. That's worth a high five.
All right.
Ouch. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you back here next week.
Yeah. See you all next week. Do you think it recorded?
No. You remember that last time when it didn't record?